All right, okay, welcome to episode 4, Rudimental, with my good friend Jason Gunnan.
Hello, drum heads.
That's right, I called them the drum heads, didn't
Welcome back to the show you've all grown to love.
And hate, in the same opinion. Here, listen to this. I'm sans alcohol. Look, tea.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's very good.
However, I'm introducing the mug on the screen because one day, in the not too distant future, that'll say Rudimental on it.
Oh,
you know where I'm going with this?
I'm with you there.
What does that mug say? What does it say?
This is a little souvenir I got from China. A little, yeah.
Listen, you know what I was going to say about that? I'm glad you brought that up because, my friend.
What's that?
That was the month that was.
It was indeed.
So I'm going to let you go out of the traps first.
Oh, no.
That was the month that was. Where did you go and what have you been doing for us, Jason?
Look, it's got nothing to do with drumming. It's I've been to China for my
right,
work.
Okay.
Yeah, they've just opened up after COVID. And it may interest you, some of you to know that I'm of Chinese ethnicity. Ethnicity?
Listen,
my mother is Chinese, so you know.
Well, listen, you've already mentioned that we can see beyond people's ethnicity. Okay,
good. That's I'm glad to hear that. Yeah,
we're not judging. Listen, but seriously, China. Do you know what's interesting about China?
Yeah, what's that?
Well, from a drumming perspective, it's very interesting. Now, if I went to Shanghai, for instance, if it was me that went to stay there, where did you stay in Shanghai, Jason? Tell me.
I think you know exactly where I stayed.
No, I forgot. Where was it?
It almost slipped off your tongue there. The Ritz-Carlton, mate. Luxury like I've never known before.
None too shabby. I believe it's actually a 6-star hotel as opposed to a 5-star hotel.
I didn't know they had that many stars.
Well, what I was going to say is, right, that means that you had a lot of time in a luxurious environment, right, to actually find your inner zen, right, and say, now I'm here at the behest of my work, but really what I should be doing is out there in those streets of Shanghai, I should be tracking down some drumming info or meeting some drummers or talking to Chinese people in general and saying, listen, guys, what's the story with China and drumming? Did you do that for us, Jason?
Yeah, I did, but my boss was like, yeah, mate, no, you got to work.
Nah, I'm not believing that because I'm not believing that one, but I'm believing that you actually just went, you know what, wrap it. I'm in here in a 6-star hotel. I'm not really caring about anything else except Jason, right? This is Jason's time. Jason's away for the wife or the missus.
Mate,
Jason's just sitting here.
They had a TV in the bathtub. So how was I gonna leave? How am I gonna?
You can't get out. You're stuck in the bathtub watching television.
I had no choice.
Right, so here's the thing about China, right?
Go on.
And this is really interesting. So in the time of the Han Dynasty, right, the emperor, so Chinese drums, very much similar to the modern day YouTube, right?
Oh.
They distributed drums throughout the kingdom, right? And the drums were a form of, pressure release, a democracy almost, where people could actually smash the drums and the pattern would show discontent or being unhappy with the situation, the magistrates or the situation in the villages or that region, and they could reflect that through drumming. I found that really interesting, right? From so many different levels. One, I wonder what kind of patterns they would play. Two,
yes,
I wonder what kind of thing would make them really angry that they'd say, right, I'm going to play a drum. Three, the emperor to come out with this idea going, you know what, this is a great idea. We're going to get these people drums. That's what these people need. Drums. There's not enough drums in the kingdom, right?
Get those drums off them.
And they have a golden gift, right, to go to Shanghai, right? A gift. The golden ticket, like Willy Wonka. There's a ticket for you, Jason, 6-star hotel, right? And you're like that. I'm just going to sit my fat arse in this bathtub and watch TV. That's what I'm going to do.
I think the drum heads would understand.
Never mind what Andrew wants. Never mind what the drum heads want, right? They're tuning in, right? Because they were like, I'm interested what garbage people are going to talk about drumming. And I'm like, I've got this story. I'm sure Jason would have picked up on this.
Look,
well, Jason.
You've obviously done your research, Andrew. And what you're saying is that people are using the drum to sow, their discontent throughout society.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, to be honest. If we're going to be real, that's probably why I didn't find a lot of drums there. They've probably taken them all off.
Careful now. Careful.
But when you think about drumming, right? If you ask anybody why you drum, I mean, no one's really going to give you this answer, but deep down, it's a form of self-expression, isn't it? People like rock out on drums. If you have nothing better to do, if you're not trying to learn rudiments, nothing like that, you're just rocking out on a drum kit, playing.
Yeah, you're smashing something.
Smashing it. Anyway, and it feels good.
The other strange thing about China, right, is I shared with you a YouTube piece where they did a fusion with bagpipes and like a kind of Chinese folk band.
Yes.
And one of the tunes which they're playing is a 3/4 called Farewell to Nig.
Oh, I didn't know.
And that tune in which they play is actually one of the tunes which my pipe band's decided to play for this year as an intro tune.
No way.
Strange. And I just thought it's a wee bit weird, isn't it? And so maybe we could share that. Maybe we could share that as a link to people who are watching it.
I mean, you should get your own like Chinese instrument and contribute and play that with the pipe band. You know, just change it up, make it a bit interesting. What do you reckon? Do you think they'd like that?
I don't think the RSPB would say, do you know what, that's well done, you guys. You're going straight to the top. I think that would probably get us disqualified. But I get the vibe and where you're going with this. I don't want to ruin the vibe. But what I was going to say is that's one of the tunes, and I thought, so maybe we could maybe put that as a link.
Yeah.
You know, below the program. But what I would say as a word of warning is, the weird thing is, and I don't want to sound kind of, I don't know which one, but like negative. But for the first 5 to 7 minutes, it seems to be that they're discussing the music more than they're actually playing.
And the dude is like arranging the music stands, and the guy just arranges them back.
It's like people coming out. It's actually like an episode of Rudimental. It's not very well thought out.
But that's in Hong Kong, and they're mad. They're mad for the pipe bands over there.
Well, and this is right. So this is one. So I want to skip to the 7th bit, or maybe we could get. I don't know. If you click on the link, skip to about the 7th minute or something like that, and then that's when it starts, and it gives you an idea. And then part 2 of what Jason never done for us in China, right? Which is, there's actually a lot of people that play the pipes in China because obviously the legacy of Hong Kong. I know it's became a bit maybe unpopular or frowned upon because it's not seen as the new way, but it's one of the things I would imagine that there's Chinese guys, you know, that live in Hong Kong that are they've learnt the pipes, and it's taken them that long to master their art that they're not going to get up just because the government's like, we're not keen on that. It's like, this is on. So I would imagine that would be quite an interesting thing to see if there's any pipe bands still in existence.
I tell you what, Andrew, the day I can hang up my work boots and go and explore the world for this podcast, I reckon finding all the pipe bands around Asia, wouldn't that be interesting? Just to go from
Singapore. Singapore's massive pipe bands as well.
Yeah.
Right. So all I'm saying is this, right? So there's and actually in the pipe band I'm at the moment, right, I've still not mentioned it. We'll do the release, right? He's kind of revealed slowly, right? So the pipe band I'm at the moment, there's a guy, they've got a connectivity with Malaysia.
Yeah.
And one of the drummers is Malaysian. So long story cut short, Jason, don't try and weasel out at me. Once I can get paid by Patreon and I can get people to pay me, just wander around the earth. We're still going to wander around the earth whether I get 10 clicks or 10 million clicks, right? I'm still going to pursue that, right? So that was China.
It was.
We could say technically a bit of a fail, Jason.
Yeah,
I'm putting my manager head on.
A success for me in my other areas.
Well, listen, they really wants to know about you or my day jobs. They're like, we don't care what you do.
I don't really have one.
Right, okay. Right, that's the next one.
Hey,
that was
when I was away.
Again.
Yes. When I was away in China, what happened was I was away for Remembrance Day.
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So that was the first Remembrance Day that my wee drum corps, which I have actually been teaching for the last few weeks, played without me. And I made sure I armed them with the knowledge and the confidence to go ahead and do it. And I came back and they said it went all right. But I did spare a thought for them and, obviously for Remembrance Day in general.
Okay, right. So what I was going to say is how big a parade was it? Or was it the similar thing that I played at? Was it quite quick and over fast, or was it a long time that they had to play?
Mate, if it's quick and over fast, that's a good show. Sometimes it drags on. Right, okay, the speeches, the amount of speeches that.
That's what I was going to say, right? So the one that my band did, it was obviously, and this is another thing, because in Australia, I would imagine the weather's a wee bit better at this time of year. In Scotland, it was bright, it was kind of sunny, but it was very kind of cold in the old extremities of your fingers. So we were hanging about for a wee while, and obviously they asked people to volunteer to do the gig, and people did. Now, all I'm going to say is Remembrance Sunday or Armistice Day, which is different from Remembrance Sunday. Obviously, I support the idea, and I'm big on it. I think it's important that we take a pause and do what we need to do for people that have gave up their life and liberty for freedom of speech and that sort of thing. Yeah. So that's a good thing. And I think it's one of the jobs that I didn't enjoy doing because it's cold. But then I get the kickback for thinking, if people like me don't do it, who would do it?
People are going to do it. That's it, yeah.
So people going to do it.
Something interesting that came out of this, before I left, my pipe major asked me, he said, what do you think about playing for Flowers of the Forest? He's like, I can't feel... Seriously? He said, I'm kind of feel bad. You guys just stand there. And I said to him, I think he was just asking me, just to gauge my my musical intelligence, maybe. But I'd said to him, I was like, look, just so we're clear, I think sometimes it's good when drums don't play. Isn't that what it means to be a drummer sometimes?
I was going to say something. Right?
When you don't play.
Flowers of the Forest is obviously traditionally played at the end of any kind of funeral service. And then the idea is that it gets quieter as the piper moves away from where he starts playing. So if you imagine a congregation or a group of people, he stands at the back of them, then he starts to play, and as he's playing, he starts to drift away. So the sound,
like when it's in a cenotaph or something, that you always say that.
So as they would say in 70s radio, he plays to fade.
Oh,
plays to fade, doesn't he?
It's very, it's very moving. Oh wow, that's good.
Do you know what I mean? So plays to fade. That's the terminology for it.
So I decided I was like, no, that's definitely the one tune in the pipe band world where drummers will not play. The one and only tune.
Look, is there any rules to music, really? I'm just going to play devil's advocate here, right? Listen, I personally wouldn't do it, right? I personally think, no, do you know what?
Yeah, have that one.
Lone Piper plays his bit, the end. You do have pieces of music, one of the most prolific, whether you like it or not, it's two different things. I've got my reservation on it. Highland Cathedral.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Big
with
banger.
The drum intro. Chop, tickety chop, tickety chop, tickety chop, chop. Right, okay, that's drilled into my brain that I hate it that much. It's like one of the kind of tunes, like Barbie Doll, Aqua. That is the Barbie Doll Aqua to a drummer pipe band world.
That tune,
Highland Cathedral,
is the one that you can guarantee you'll get as a request from the crowd. Civilian crowd, everyone knows it.
Listen, do you know what I was going to say as well? Here's the weird thing. I think I've kind of touched on this before. Ultimately, your job is to play for the punter.
That's it.
So he wants to hear Highland Cathedral.
You smash
Highland
it out.
Cathedral, it is. It is. Well, I personally think of it as two different things, but you know what I mean? But yeah, so there you go. So so he asked you to play that, and obviously he says, no, I think that's a bad idea. And I concur with you, Jason.
Nice.
My thing says I agree with you.
And well, you agreeing with me is actually it's reassuring because I'm thinking, and I have actually accepted a nomination, and it could be a mistake for them, but I've accepted to be the drum sergeant of the Manly Ringer Pipe Band.
Oh, promotion, eh?
Hold on. It hasn't happened yet. There's an AGM coming up. An
AGM. Funny you saying AGM. I was at one last week.
How'd you find it? Andy, you don't strike me as someone who'd enjoy an AGM.
Oh, my God. Right, I think there's hold on a minute.
Oh, you just got something in your mouth there.
We mint chewing gum. Right.
Very cool.
Sorry.
Super professional.
AGM. Yeah, exactly. Super professional. I'm looking paid for this.
Just spit it out live on camera there, would you?
So, right, listen. What I was going to say is, well, I went to a pipe band AGM last week, right? All I'm going to say is, I would rather stick knitting needles into my eyes, right? Now, I know there's a legal responsibility here, right? So you can't have people working in the background and going about like dark, like the dark arts and not sharing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it costs money to run a pipe band. Actually, an eye-watering amount of money to run a pipe band, right?
Yeah.
So you get money coming in and you've got money going out. And where money coming in is equals fraud. So people have got to be super careful that the people that are handling the money and looking after the money for the band aren't going to do a run with the money that they were saving up for, I don't know, 15,000 quid for drums. And then that guy goes and lives in Benidorm for a couple of weeks, living at large, right? So I get that. I totally get why you would have an AGM, right? It's the transparency.
Yep.
However, to actually attend an AGM, oh my God, it's dull. And really, it's a kind of fake democracy, isn't it? It's a kind of fake democracy. They do the same sort of thing, in clubs, right, where they have like club meetings, but they've already done prepared questions for the club president, just like like any thing. Right, see, Tam, what you do is I want you to ask about the toilets, right? Ask me how it's getting on with the toilets, and then Tam stands up and says, "Right, club president, I was brought up at the last meeting that we were going to get the toilets fixed. Thanks for that question, Tom. Yeah, I've actually booked a plumber to come in. He's coming in on Tuesday. Oh, wow. Doesn't the president look as if he's on things, right? So, the same.
Andy, you don't strike me as someone who would be sitting in an AGM and letting those guys run the meeting. I feel like it wouldn't take more than 5 minutes for you to stand up and go, right.
Listen, not a word was said, mate. I just sat there with the world list collapsing in my brain. I couldn't. So this is a thing I thought, right, as well, is that I actually thought it was a waste of 2 hours of my time that I'd have been better in the house practicing my drum.
Yeah.
That's the truth. But I don't know, maybe they could actually do a thing where you could, how, this is my point. AGMs, right? Why can they not do what Microsoft, Google, and all these E-type commerce companies do, Netflix, when they send you out the contract, right? You don't need to read it. You just scroll to the bottom, tick the box, and say accept, right?
Continue.
I'm going to put you into bondage and slavery. Please accept this. And you're like, at the bottom, I don't care. Tick. Right, done. Right? Because nobody reads it. Nobody reads the terms and conditions, right? So why can they not do that at the AGM? Just send it to a text message to your phone. Scroll down that, Andy. Press tick if you agree with it. And you're like, scroll. Yeah, tick. Done.
You know what? It's not a bad idea.
Legal responsibility done. However, technically, you could say, when the guy does run away to Benidorm with all your money, you can say, but you just wanted to scroll and tick. And that's what happens when you do that. I don't know.
But do you do you get like input as a band member? Is that's the point of the AGM, right? Is you get to actually
the point. Right.
Raise your voice?
Well, of course it is, right? And of course it's a point there. It's like meant to be a democratic forum, right? But the problem with a democratic forum is, not that I'm against democracy, but the problem with a democratic forum is that if you've got a 2-hour window, you've finished your work, you've given up your free time to go and listen to the committee blab on about what their ideas is for the band and what they're going to do with the money, or how they're going to spend money, or what they've been spending money on, gas bills, electricity bills, blah, blah, blah. all the boring stuff that everybody knows happens, but they're going to have to listen to. The flip side of that is imagine somebody's like that. This is not my band, because my band's super good, right? So everybody in it's dynamite, right?
Yes.
But I can imagine some bands, right? There's some bands out there. You can just imagine some guy called Stevie. And Stevie just said, listen, last year we got these drums, right? And we spent 10 grand on them. And I wanted glitter fire effect. So my question to the committee is, are we getting glitter fire effect drums? Good question, Stevie. We've discussed. Really?
Give me a rest, would you, Stevie?
So be careful what you wish for as a favourite maxim. You could end up with about 30 people in the room asking really bone idle questions.
And never getting a resolution.
And never getting any resolution. So next year comes and Stevie gets up again and goes, so what was happening to my drums then that I wanted to ask this last year? Nothing happened. You know what I mean? Cheers, Stevie. Go out the back, shallow grave, finish it off yourself.
Drumheads, vote Andrew Laird #1 for your AGM.
Come on. Yeah, anyway, so I don't know. I think, and really, this is another weird thing, right? AGM. So I get them and understand them, right? And I was going to say something that's kind of same, but
I need
different.
to test your knowledge here. Do you know what AGM stands for?
Annual general meeting.
Okay, all right, yeah. I was guessing that. I mean, I was testing you.
You tested me or you tested yourself?
No, I was.
Jason, no.
Yo, what was your point?
Mate, no. I'm not. I'm losing this loop now. I'm losing the will to live. But listen, AGM. So basically, like AGM, I understand it's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to go to it. Right. Anyway, enough of AGMs.
That's a nice way.
I'm boring myself talking about the AGM.
Yeah, that's it.
I vote not to speak about the AGM ever again. Thanks very much, Stevie. Don't even know who Stevie is. That's just a name I made up.
He's out there.
It's that big guy. Remember the big guy with the kilt knot?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't need a new kilt. That's Stevie's brother. I don't need a new kilt. Kill Jester.
Let's get Stevie on the show.
Kill Jester. Kill Jester. Best money I've spent. Kill Jester. Right. Anyway, right. So that was the month it was. Right. Moving on. Tomi Kaupila. Here it is. For all the world to see. Now, wait a minute. Straight off traps, right?
Yeah. Oh,
I am not a technical person.
Oh. Drumheads, it's
I
true.
I am not a technical guy, right?
Like a technological...
I'm a practical guy. In many and different layers. I'm always pragmatic, practical.
You're a hustler.
The whole IT thing doesn't work for me. Now, here's my point. So we begged Tomi to come on the show.
Yeah.
We got Tomi on the show.
Yeah.
I had to interview Tomi myself.
I was at a gig, yes, admittedly.
The problem with me interviewing Tomi myself was, right away, that involves one key component: technicality.
Like, Drumheads, I was getting texts while I was trying to enjoy Paul McCartney with Andrew losing his head at the technology.
Do you know what? Actually,
I wanted to rush home so badly.
Listen, I'm so selfish, right? And my wife said this to me, right? And this is how selfish I am, right? I never even considered you in that whole process, right? So my wife was like, what? You were texting him when he was at that gig? She's like, so that meant that he couldn't enjoy the concert because you were so selfish that you wanted him to respond to your needs, even though he was at the concert. And I'm like, what? And the problem is what? What's the problem here? I need this fixed. This is a guy that can fix this, Heather.
I'm in Australia. You know what I mean? I'm just giving you moral support at this point.
Anyway, so Tomi, if you're watching, we are sorry. I'm sorry that we missed quite a chunk of your interview. The good news, though, is when Jason came back for the concert, that stuff we kind of got.
Yeah, so we got all three of us together.
So, without much to say, cue Tomi.
So you missed one. You also missed one question, I noticed.
Say again?
You missed one question.
Read it out. Tell me what I missed, and entertain the man that was
number
late.
5. Okay.
Number 5.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay, so
it was funny because it actually was a very good question.
Yeah. So the question is that given that all humans are individuals, which they are, right? So what's your method to like a kind of standard approach for all? So how do you flex? How do you bend? In order to try and maximise, do you have like a kind of everybody does this, or he would be better doing that sort of thing to bring him on this way? That kind of way of thinking.
Yeah. So as I told previously, the challenge that I have is that everybody comes from a different backgrounds into the service.
Yep.
So during the years, I have had opportunity to see and study different kinds of perspectives on rudimental drumming around the world.
Yep.
And what I've tried to do is to create a method that would to develop sort of universal skills of percussion. So when they come in, the problem is not that they wouldn't be like good musicians or talented drum set players or classical percussionists, but the problem is that their capability of vary their how you say it vary their
like their ability varies.
Yeah. So but to change how they play.
Oh yes.
To transform it.
How if you use this or this or fingers or twist or whatever.
Yes.
And in drumline playing, I think that the main thing about having or building a good drum line is that the individuals have skills good enough to do that, make that little changes in their playing.
Yes.
Yeah. And we
so you need a good foundation.
Times, yes, and also the Finnish drummers, many times they copy things, and they just and the whole idea of being personal drummer is so sort of it's something.
You mean like having your own style of drumming, and then you're trying to make it uniform?
And no, I mean everybody has their own style.
Yes.
That is something.
Yes.
It's not defined.
It's not quite developed yet.
Yeah, or how it might be very very well developed style, but it's just one style that they are using in playing. So in order to teach them skills to change the way they play, the style that they use in playing, sort of to develop their technique, in drumline playing, so that they can play the exactly same way.
Yeah.
With the motions and stick
each other.
angles and yes, with each other. Yeah. So that's the and also, as I said previously, that I need to teach that the way that they don't just learn a new style.
Yes.
The way that now everybody plays this style.
Yes. Yeah. What we're all playing together.
Yeah.
Do people come into the conscripts and already have been playing an instrument, or are they coming in with no knowledge at all?
Yes, so many of the conscripts have their profession in with the instrument. So they are professional musicians.
Oh, nice.
So they are, if not already, then they are close to graduate or something. So they are 18-year-old.
And you're taking them to the next level.
Well, that's the idea.
Yeah.
but because the big difference in this Finnish rudimental drumming thing is that where in many institutions here, the development is measured by playing something new. So if you know this, let's play this. Now you
and
know
see
this,
how quickly you pick it up, or
no, it's the idea of building
just
up
your repertoire. Yeah.
So, but in this rudimental drumming here, we actually go this way. So the idea is to develop the skill and improve the quality of different
every time
things. So
Tomi, sorry to interrupt you, right? But I understand what you're saying, because obviously in a drumline scenario, you don't want the individual, even though everyone is an individual. So you're wanting this kind of uniformic overall sound. Ultimately, that sound, I'm saying sound, but in the sense of style, or the way that you want them to sound as a core or a drumline. So that technically is imprinted by you. If you Tomi Kaupila, right, are the guy that's saying, right, I've got, say, I don't know, 10 drummers in a drum line, right? And you've got competent drummers, and you, in your mind, have got a particular uniformic or uniformal style that you want them to sound like. How do you get that? What are you thinking? I mean, obviously your mission is to make them sound like that, but how do you come up with the concept of what the sound you're chasing? Are you chasing like a really kind of complex open sound? Are you trying to chase like a simplistic effective sound? What is Tomi Kaupila trying to make his core or his drumline sound like?
That's a very good question, and funny. We go. We have many of these conversations between the drummers, because they are very talented musicians themselves in their own line of work, and many of them are even more higher. They have higher education in music than I have, and so we go back and forth these conversations that what drives the practicing. So what is the main purpose of the drum lines? And the big thing lately has been that although we want to find very musical phrases and all that stuff, the idea of drumline playing, developing the guys' technical skills and capability to change their style in playing is sometimes being more important than that we create musical phrases or So, but what I think is that you can also mix those two. So if you have if you stay in the level of where you are doing excellent precision in group playing and synchronized playing, and you make very tiny sort of decisions in the rudiments between strokes, how high and what kind of, how you build, for example, paradiddle. So you have the first one is a big accent, then you have this high note, and this high. So you have a little crescendo
the overall dynamics. So basically you're saying it's not. Sorry. I'm just trying to kind of refine it. So when you're describing a paradiddle, you're describing the main effect there is obviously trying to chase a greater dynamic sound from your core. So giving strength and emphasis on certain notes, and then so that would give us the dynamic of kind of volume or loudness, and then obviously trying to create the peak to trough of the sound, from high to low, not just chasing a technical.
And make it feel
ideal.
musical.
But in sort of how you say it, inside the technical excellence, so that it still stays the most high quality, but the decisions you do in the music are sort of in the range of everyone's capabilities to play technically.
Mate, it's amazing to well, I mean, what we do is crazy because we're just trying to pursue this. What you're talking about is that technical ability and then the musical sound, and marry that together, and then
I mean,
put it to a purpose.
See, when you're talking about a drum line, Tommy, okay? One of my questions is obviously you're aware of pipe band side drumming, right? Which is a drum line, okay? It's a core. Is there anything you don't like about it? So I mean, it's the same sort of family where it's rudiments and it's that sort of thing where we're drummers. But is there things that you think in pipe band side drumming you just think, I don't get that, I don't like it? Is there something that you think, that's not for me?
No.
All right, that's a good answer.
Nice.
Well done, Tom.
Didn't expect that.
That's a great answer. You can come back on the show.
There's got to be something.
That was my personal opinion. But
I get that. I get it.
If, for example, but if you're asking, why don't we do it? Sort of is that as I said, my goal is to build up the skills applicable to all the percussion instruments, and also sort of the idea that even though someone has some of the skills, the system is so wide and scale oriented that it will fill up all the little sort of holes that someone might have in their technical.
Everybody's different is taking something from it.
Yes,
along the way.
So if you have a system that follows the scale of some, for example, hand speed of the stroke.
Oh yes.
So if you have snap or just a slow motion, and everything between that, if you can control it, so
well, you see, Tommy,
that's just one
use a very interesting word there, right? And that's control. And that's possibly one of the founding fathers of all drumming, regardless whether it be drumline, kit drumming, whatever, is the word control. You know, the actual ability to control your stick at the height and force and placement onto the actual skin, you know, whichever kind of skin you're hitting, it's all to do with control. So, I mean, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but that in itself, trying to teach drummers how to be more in control, so they may be able to kind of manufacture the sound. So you could say to somebody, play me a paradiddle, right? Paradiddle. But if you actually break that down and make them control what they're playing, that's a different sort of outcome. Because I mean, a lot of people, genuinely, you could grab them in the street and you could say to them, right, left, right, right. Like, we just two sticks. They would they'd be able to do it. So, I mean, it's interesting to use the word control, because it ultimately is about control.
It's almost a pursuit of excellence that also, you can never achieve.
Sorry?
It's almost unachievable, the perfect control.
Yeah, because it's there's this guy called Simon Sinek, who is
right.
He's a corporative facilitator or some big leader coach.
Yeah.
And he has these two games that he talks about, that you have endless game and ending game. So never ending game and ending game. So learning a piece could be an ending game. You know, this is it, I know this piece.
Yes.
But these skills that comes in the rudimental drumming, they are never ending.
Right.
So you can always do better, except when sort of when you get very old. And
obviously,
it starts to be maintaining the level where
the ability, the physical ability.
Sorry?
Yeah, maintaining the physical ability.
Yes,
as a drummer.
I love that. The end game and what's that? The endless game.
Yeah, the ending game and the endless game.
Awesome.
Yeah. Fantastic.
But I would like to finish my explanation about why don't I do pipe band drumming with the conscripts. What I think is that sort of it's so finely developed style and drum that you need sort of you can't use the whole body in a way that sort of applies into everywhere. But it comes more to fingers and these. So if you sort of it's how you say, so it's I call these what I teach here, I call these elements that I have in teaching. They are basic strokes that are the biggest stroke you can hit.
Yeah.
And the smallest touch you can do.
Yep.
Those are the basic strokes. So you have nervings that will give you, and learning one after another builds you a rudiment by those strokes.
Yes.
And then the second one is body control, where you have a long extended position up here, and then you come down from there just by relaxing, and you have a certain trajectory that you follow in order to observe if it's in control or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you have certain angles about that. So you have 45, and then you have in the forearm you have 90 degrees, and those are all sort of checkpoints that you can observe the ways of your motion. That are you actually doing what you want to do, or are you doing just something? But then the last one is a touch. So the idea of you have a level of, for example, drum, and you go and touch on the
skin,
for example, skin or a mallet bar, or whatever the instrument. So I usually we use training pads, so we don't end up listening too much, because we just want to feel and learn the touch.
All about feel.
The idea is to actually hit this
from up there,
big note, and just to touch and go back. So that's the
amazing,
master level idea. So you master the whole body motion in the instrument. So these are the core elements and the idea. And when you sort of start to go into different instruments from the core, you end up having drum set, which is you have 4 limbs. It goes. You have different things you need to check, and then and apply these same strokes with
to each
feet
one,
and all that stuff. And then you have, for example, mallets. You get scales. What are they? Melodic scales. And then you have, for example, marching drum that you guys play, high tension snare drum. You have fingers bouncing, all that stuff. That sort of it's not in the core. It's already you're applying the things when you play that drum. Sort of. So that's why I try to keep it here, because this is what we lack in Finnish drumming culture. So we don't have the tradition at all about marching drumming.
Nice.
So this sort of these elements, this body control thing, is what is our rudimental drumming.
Awesome. That's your prerogative. That's what you're doing. That's what's happening over in Finland.
Yeah.
Tomi, got a question for you. What's the next big thing for Tomi Kaupila? What's the next big thing that's going to be coming up in your world?
That's a good question. I'm not at the moment. I'm at as we met in Düsseldorf, I was on an excursion trip with my drum majors course. So I will be drum major somewhere in the future. But also, what I hope that happens is that we get this rudimental thing, also spread out of the military. So because now it's just military drumming and military drum lines. So I have already tried to sort of spread it into this. What's it in English? It's National Defense Association, I think.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So they have founded these bands, and I would like them to start drum lines also.
Yeah.
So do you think so we might see the Tomi Kaupila rudiment book coming out soon? Is that what you're saying, Tomi? You're going to bring out like a precis for us to read? You could bring out the book, right? You could bring out the book. Don't worry, I'll promote it, and we'll be able to try it out. But you could maybe you could spread the word, because it doesn't really matter if it's a good rudiment book, then it's something that everybody will want to give a try to. So you sound like the man that's itching take him up with a wee rudiment book or a little rudiment book that people could follow.
And you're doing a massive task, and it seems like you really understand what needs to happen here with all the different aspects at the micro level.
It's been, I've been thinking about these things a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, also it's been sort of a journey to see, sort of find what's ours. Because since we don't have many places, when people talk about rudimental drumming, they talk about the traditional marching drumming.
The Swiss, the Americans.
Yeah. So it's the traditional way of drumming, marching.
Yes.
Marching drums. So, but we don't have that tradition at all. So we used to have, except when until 1809, and then Russia conquered Finland from Sweden, and we had Swedish regiments before that had drummers that played rudiments. But after the Russians conquered Finland, and the drummers were Finnish, so the Swedish they founded the regiment, and they collected the people around the place where they built it up. So all the troops were Finnish. So anyway, so when the Russian conquered, they shut down all the regiments, and also the drummers went out of job. And because there were so few of them here and widely spread, I think that's why that the tradition never stood.
So it's time to bring back the Finnish identity of drumming.
Yeah, so that's something that I'm trying to do.
Wow, amazing.
So Tomi, I think we're going to wrap it up, Tomi, and I think we'll have you on again. Right? You'll definitely be back to talk to us. I know
I'll be back too. I'll be back
because he was late for the intro. But here's a question for you, Tomi, and I'm deadly serious about this. Deadly serious. You live in Finland. Santa comes to Finland, comes to Lapland.
Yes.
Tomi,
we all know this.
Please tell everybody. Is Santa a drummer? Tomi, does Santa play drums?
Of course.
You better believe he does, Tomi. That's 100%.
Because you know what?
Right there, Tomi.
Because you know what?
What?
All the cool guys play drums.
Yes, indeed.
100%. That's exactly what I want to hear. Tomi Kaupila, thanks very much for joining us. Okay.
Thank you for asking me.
It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
It was an honor.
No. We'll let you know when it's coming out, okay? And you'll be able to watch it. All right? Thanks very much, Tomi.
Cheers, mate. So that was Tomi Kaupila, the Sergeant First Class and Percussion Head Instructor of the Finnish Defence Force Conscript Band. And he's
Sounds
doing
impressive.
Big things, eh? He's got big plans, big ideas.
Listen, he's quite meticulous about what he talks about. You can tell that the guy is all he thinks about pretty much is drumming.
The detail.
And it's the devil in the detail for him, isn't it? You know what I mean? He's like, however, more importantly than the actual what he's doing and what his job title is, he saved Christmas for me.
How's that?
Because he accepts the fact that Santa is a drummer.
That's right. And we all knew that, didn't we? Hey,
we all knew that. He was just saying that. He only said that in Germany just to kind of get in my mind, run about and all that, smash me up.
So you wouldn't forget him, mate.
I'll never forget that. As long as I live by it, I'll never forget that. Nearly collapsed. Anyway,
Christmas is saved.
Christmas is saved, right? So
thank you, Tomi.
Yeah, much obliged, Tomi. Anyway, talk about interviews.
Oh, yeah.
And moving on. So, Tall Tales and Interesting People, we've got another interview. An interview that I've been banging on about along with Tomi, right? A character called Ali Park.
Jam.
One times piper of Boghall Bathgate pipe band.
Yes.
Now, we got this on the hoof literally at the start of this show because the last time we tried to interview him, remember, it was, the Wayne's flushed the phone down the toilet and car crashes and all sorts of mayhem and
you were
craziness.
having tech issues. That's what was happening.
I was in tech issues. And do you know what else? And this is just another weekend of thing. He was actually playing. He never mentioned this in an interview, but I know for a fact, like last week, he was playing for the president of South Korea.
Oh, no way.
Banquet. He never mentioned that. Wow. Maybe he's more humble than I've given him
yeah.
But anyway, so he's a kind of
borderline abusing him.
He's a kind of busy guy. He does things other than answer my phone calls. But
he had time for us though, didn't he?
He answered it this morning, and we just ripped him straight on, man. It doesn't matter. You prepared? Don't care. Get in here. Get the interview done. So, without much ado, let's flag this one in.
Alistair Park.
Right, Jason. This guy's called Alistair Park, okay, and he's a piper with a Grade 1 pipe band called Boghall Bathgate. Now, I'm going to be really honest about it. How are you feeling? How are you feeling, Alistair? Are you up for this? Are you ready for this? Because we've been waiting for you to appear on this show for about 5 episodes, technically. So, you know what I'm saying? You say, I need bother later. I'll come on the show. So you're on. Good morning, or you're good morning here. How are you feeling? Like a champion?
Aye, good. Aye,
good man. Right, good. Couple of things for you, right? So basically, Jason, the reason I've got Alistair on the show, he's clickbait, right? He's actually, see when you want to go out with a bird, right? And you hang about with this lassie's brother, but the brother's a bit kind of dull. But the only reason you entertain the brother is because you're interested in the sister, right? You get that kind of format. Ali is our kind of wee lure bait because we want Kieran McQuillan on the show, right? Because that's a show about drummers, right? So we get Alistair on, right? Publicly flog him and humiliate him, right? And hopefully that'll entice Kerr out of his wee kind of cage and bring him on the show.
I tried to hold him back, Alistair. I tried to do what I could, mate.
He's
been hounding you down, and I need to. We got to hear from you, mate.
I expect
Alistair, introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself, Alistair. What do you do?
I am currently an instructor at the Army School of Bagpipe Music and Highland Drumming.
Nice. How long have you been doing that for?
Just over a year. It's great.
Right, okay. And so this brings me straight off the traps. The jam story. The jam of Kerlook story. Famous or Dundee jam duty journalism and Alistair Park, okay? So this character here, right, decides that whilst he's at the piping school, thinks it's a good idea, I'll go and join a civilian pipe band. As you do, quite a lot of people go and join a wee pipe band because they get a chance. That he's obviously regularly at a job that's 95 potentially. This character, right, goes and joins Boghall Bathgate just before they win the World Pipe Band Championship. I mean, after a long period of a drought, a long hiatus of no major prizes in the World Pipe Band Championship, he turns up and wins the championship.
Was it like that, Ali? Was it like, did you just roll the dice? Did you just have a feeling?
I don't know, really. I knew one of the pipers in the band, Johnny Simpson, and when I was in Lurgan the previous year when the Highlanders were competing, I was steaming. And just by chance, I thought I would ask Johnny if I could play with the band next year. And then it happened. So
what, just for me, I'm a layman. I'm a pipe band layman. You know, I'm the kind of, the new guy in this conversation. Boghall Bathgate, this hiatus you're talking about, what's going on? They haven't won a championship for a while. I've heard some things about Boghall, like that they're one of the originals.
I think it wasn't for 20. I might be wrong. It's 2011 or 2013 was the last time the band won a championship.
Yeah.
And then this year to have done two. So we won the UK Championship, Silver and Lurgan, and then to do the Worlds as well is just phenomenal.
And that's because of you?
No.
Yes, yes, Jason, that's because of Alistair and he's exceptional.
And you're on the show.
Listen, okay, apart from the guy get heed like a cow, right? But here's the point, right? Listen to us. Here's the point. Truly heartfelt congratulations, Alistair. It's outstanding. But here's the thing, right? See now that you've achieved that. Now, I've never achieved that, right? And I've been kind of plugging away at different wee bands for years and years and years and all that, and never got world pipe band champion, right? So there's thousands of people in that same predicament where they've never achieved that, right? And you've kind of rolled the dice type thing, went away with kind of one of the first bands that you actually, it's a kind of civilian band, and won it. I mean, do you know want to do something else like, I don't know, fishing for blind people, you know what I mean, helping them fish or tie flies for them or make canoes for blind fishermen or something. You need to move on. You can't just stay top, man. No, you've done that.
What I want to do is I want to retain it.
Oh, yes.
That's it, yeah. That's good.
Come along with the challenges.
Yeah. Listen, so here's the next thing. I told you I was at the World Solos and I seen Kerr. Obviously, my predictive fire came through. I said, I think he's going to win that today. And we had a wee speaker. We done that in episode 3. I think we talked about that. Anyway, he says to me, he's up for coming on the show. So guess what? Your mission, like the boring brother, is to go back to the good-looking sister and say, hey, listen, Lairdy and his pal want to do this. You said aye when you were in the railway. You know what I mean? The station bar.
Are you guys on first name basis?
Yeah. That's
Aye. Next practice, I'll ask him.
Let's really, you go right. So, happy days. We've achieved our aim. We've managed to get Alistair on the show, right? We're thinking of putting you on probably the next episode that comes out. So, you better stay tuned for it. But there's a couple of things I'd like to say to you, right? A couple of questions, right? One is when did you start learning your craft? What age were you when you started piping?
I was about 8 or 9 when Pipe Major Marty Huxter first taught me.
Right, okay.
And then a wee bit after that, it was he went away, and then from there on.
Everybody wait. Pause the video.
What the?
Angela speaking.
Oh my God. You're back.
Pick up at 11:45. Everybody should rejoice now, but we're doing something interesting. Like asking Ali questions about. Here's a question I was going to ask you, Alistair, as well, right? So it doesn't matter about piping or drumming because it's the same sort of thing. How much practice do you put in, right, on average per week, do you think? Do you remember your pipe major or somebody that knows you might listen to this show? So you better take that number and double it and add on 5. No, I'm only kidding. What is it?
I don't know, really. I practice a good lot of time during the day.
And you do this for a job, don't you?
Yeah, so at the minute, when I teach the future of the British Army's pipes and drums. So I do a lot of teaching, but they get a lot of time to themselves as well, where they can go and practice what they've been shown. And in that time is when I usually rattle them through all the tunes. And then I'll always do a wee bit in the evening as well on the nights we've not got band.
So you said you've been playing since 8. So what are you now, 18?
25.
Oh, okay. All right. So would you say that you've reached a point where you're like, some would consider you a genius, or are you like, it's too easy for me now, or what's challenging for you?
To be honest, I think I hit my peak of my piping when I finished my pipe majors course, because that's just 7 months of pure piping. Yeah. And to get to that level, it's a long, hard graft. But to get to there and to maintain that, it's hard.
Yeah, maintaining it.
Keep it going.
The consistency.
Yeah.
So
just keep it ticking over.
So being a champion, playing, getting to where you have got with craft, do you think it's about I don't know. Is it about being patient, or is it about like what keeps you going?
I just love it. At Boghall, it's a great team. The whole band is
That's
so.
what it is, eh?
It's so enjoyable to play in the band, and like the feeling of the whole band together. It's like a big family. It's just a good vibe to be in, and there's no like standout characters that would make you not want to be there.
Yeah, and that's what Champions are made of, eh?
Exactly.
Okay.
World champions for a reason.
So this sounds crazy, right? So, and I know it sounds crazy, but I kind of totally get what you're saying, right? So, is it as good as pipe bands are, right? So, like top 10, top 5 pipe bands, right? They're all. I mean, there's not much difference quality-wise. We've spoken about this before of ability, right? The guys that are in the band. It's not like they're any worse than any other guys that are in bands. So, would you say then that it's a lot of it is to do with how the vibe is with the band? You know, that buoyancy, almost like, you know, if you get a football team, it's easy to keep winning when you're winning, and you've got that mentality of positivity. Everybody feels that they're at the right place, and it's a train that's moving, as opposed to maybe. Do you know what I mean? So is that true? Do you think that's true, that it's just as much about the attitude of the whole unit of the band as much as it is the capability of the individual?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like Ross, throughout the full season, spreading positivity throughout the band about how he's like never played in a band that sounded like this ever. He's like, it's just gone up to a new gear this year, and he kept reminding us of how good it was, and that we were on the brink of doing something special. And then the fact that we went and delivered and done it was just
far out. What?
Oh, unbelievable.
See before you actually played, right? This is a genuine question, right? So see before you played, right? Were you, especially at the Worlds, right? Were you nervous?
There was only one time I was nervous throughout the full season,
right?
And that was that 4th performance at the Worlds. Just because we'd had 3.
Is this the last one?
Yeah.
This is the make or break.
So the first 3 performances were solid. They were so good. And the weather at the Worlds was challenging. It was cold. It was just horrible.
It was like a washing machine.
Aye. And we didn't play for half as long as we played for all the other build-up. And I just didn't feel settled.
Oh.
But as soon as I got that bag up and under my arm, everything was blocked out.
Nice.
And before I knew it, I cut my bag up and that was it.
Right, I've got another question for you, right? This is kind of mental, right? But it's the same sort of subject, right? So I've been on before, right? With like a grade 2 band, right? And I've been playing. And we've played really, the drum corps this is, we've played really well, right? And it's went so well that I couldn't actually remember playing it. It felt as if, I know that sounds crazy, right?
Out of body.
It was like an out of body experience, right? Where I was there, but it was almost like I was unconscious to what I was doing. However, I was doing it like so intrinsically with the core that it just felt, I don't know, it's like, I always call this the
pure
power
mastery,
punch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's all, I call this like the power punch, where, see, it must be like all instruments, if it's a uniformic type idea where, you know, it's a collective, right? Where if you actually, I call it like your Zen space. So if you're actually performing, right, as a group, and then you find this kind of, this Zen space where it's that concentrated, you're solely concentrating on that so much, you've actually emptied your mind. You've actually emptied everything else. You're not thinking actually anything, even because you're doing that so well. Does that make sense to you, Alistair?
It's like you've hit the same wavelength. It's meditation, like, you know.
Well, let's find out. Is that, would you agree with that, or is that just nonsense, Alistair?
No, totally. It's like we got to a stage where everything was muscle memory. When all we needed to do was remember and to focus and concentrate for that, either 4-minute MSR or 7-minute medley. You've just got to stay focused and concentrate, watching someone's fingers and listening. But it's like you say, it's like a total out of body experience, and it was strange, really strange.
Ali, I got to ask you,
all right,
at this level, are you even worried about mistakes? Is that even a thing that's?
They do happen. But it's not because you don't know the stuff. Everyone knows the stuff. It's like the nerves can get to people when people make mistakes.
It's just a trembling finger or something.
Or it's a concentration. People could lose the concentration for a split second and be like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
Listen, I've got a question, right? This is a good question. Question is this, right? So you win the Worlds, right? And everybody's like, woo! Throwing their Glengarries up in the air, right? I don't know about this, right? I'm actually, I don't know whether this is some sort of thing that somebody done once, and then all of a sudden everybody thought, oh, that's what you've got to do when you win it. You've got to. Did you throw your Glengarry up in the air? Aye or no? Yes, no.
No, I didn't.
Thank God for that, right? Because I thought that's a sheep, right? So that's one of the things. The other one I was going to ask is, did she cry? Because I've seen folk crying.
I did.
Right?
I did. Yeah.
How could you not? How could you not?
No, is that on camera?
Probably. It was just
I'd put that up on my wall if I was you, mate.
The shock and emotion, it just all hit me at once, and I was just like,
big time.
We've just won the Worlds. I'm just like,
listen.
Did you know as soon as you put your bagpipes down?
I get it.
No, they just calculate all the scores and then and then you're in a waiting area somewhere.
All performances, all 4 performances, we're more than happy with all 4. It's like it's in the judges' hands now. Listen to a few of the other bands. I called it Friday, by the way.
I called it Friday. Called it Friday, by the way. Genuinely, they're winning it.
I witnessed this.
All I'm going to say is, Alistair, thanks for coming on the show and boring us to death with your recital of how you won the world single-handedly. I'm sure everybody else in the Boghall Bathgate will be like that. No, you didn't, Alistair. We had to drag you through that. It was like pulling you through cement with a big pair of wellies on. Right? But no, genuinely. Thanks very much for coming on.
When you release the book, mate, we'll promote it here for you.
Yeah, we'll get t-shirts, get merchandise. Ali helps you win. Ali number 1.
Sponsored by Rudimental.
Yes.
Yes. You know how to make people happy. Right, listen, thanks very much for coming on, Alistair.
Good on you,
all right, so catch you.
No problem.
Alistair Park, drumheads. How about that? Champion of the world.
Listen, we all know that, listen, at least we came honest with this. Like, we know there's an ulterior motive there. We know why we got Alistair on, right? And we like Alistair. He's a pal. We like him. He's a pal of the show. We all know the real reason we had him on, don't we? Care, don't we? Yeah.
Good. If you're watching, no pressure.
So, listen, another thing is we need to explore the idea of this kind of post-Worlds drinks in Drumhammer. I think we can pull this off.
Okay. So,
I think
if I understand this correctly, right, what you're talking about is for the next Worlds in 2024. Yeah, I may just be sort of in the area for the next Basel tattoo, and then maybe I'll just drop by your house, the Drumhammer studio of Rudimental.
Yep,
and see who else is there. See if we can get a few drinks in and have just a chat.
I think it would work. I think we could maybe do 2, 4, maybe 6. Have a live studio with 6 or 8 people, right?
Yep.
And so like we could have like live guests, 6, 8 people, and then we'll sit at the bar and we'll pontificate, which we do well.
Wow. And you've got beer kegs in there, don't you?
I've got like beer on tap, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's
all happening. It's all happening.
That's going to happen. So, moving forward, then, what have we got coming up for the next episode, Mr. Gunning?
Well, Mr. Laird, tis the season, is it not?
Aha! Yes.
It's not snowing for you guys yet, is it?
Not yet. but I'll tell you one thing. It's rather frosty. Well, Jack Frost's been out last night and this morning.
Okay.
So I think that the snow is inbound.
Yeah, and the bells are ringing.
Not quite. I'll tell you what. I'm a bit of a Christmas Grinch. I'll be honest with you.
The decorations are up too early, weren't they?
I don't do Christmas decorations till at least like 12 days before. I try and push it. I actually try and push the envelope as far as I can go. Now, I know that sounds crazy because people think you're just putting them up and then you're taking them down, right? But for me, it means that Christmas is just, it's just that wee window and it's good fun. But let's just kind of get it over and done with.
Yeah. You know what? I get you, and I really get you. And but I've actually found out a way to beat this. They say, you're putting up too late, and then you're just gonna take them down, mate. Leave them up.
Oh, you're rude. I could honestly. I think I'm allergic to like tinsel and glitter. Right? It's like I'm allergic to that. Right? It just creeps me out. It's like polystyrene getting rubbed together.
Oh right.
I don't like it.
It's just too happy for you, eh? It's just too much like joy.
No, do you know what? No, listen, I'm going to say this in behalf of every Christmas Grinch out there, right? I'm going to tell you one thing. I think I'm a happy-go-lucky guy.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
By and large,
you are.
Right? What I was going to say is, and I love Christmas. I love getting my feed. I like getting a couple of beers, couple of drinks, couple of whiskies. I love Christmas. It's time to be off work.
Oh, yeah.
Just get there, get fat around the fire, enjoy yourself. Yeah. Love Christmas, right? Yeah. I love Christmas. What I hate about Christmas is Christmas starting in October.
Yeah.
I mean, before Remembrance Sunday, people were talking about Christmas, and Christmas was on Sky. The Christmas movies were on it, and I'm like, all I can see about Christmas is how much money I'm going to spend, right?
I
so
know.
How much money is Christmas going to cost me?
It's getting
worse.
I
want things like another mic, and it's not going to happen. He was going to buy me that. Cheers, Dad.
Santa, are you listening?
Santa's dead.
Hey,
no, it's not. It's a drummer.
He's going to win the Worlds next year.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's exactly what it's going to be. Right, listen.
Hey, hold on. Just on that point, by the way, I've already started seeing Easter eggs.
No. Stop.
They could have been from this year, though. Who knows?
Right, let's get away from this whole Christmas thing. Right. The thing is, we're going to do a Christmas special, aren't we?
We will.
And our plan is to release this on Christmas Day, correct?
Yep.
Now, is it going to be Christmas Day Australia or Christmas Day Scotland? That's a big question.
Well, it could be any.
Well, wait a minute. If we do Christmas Day, it would be your Christmas night.
Yeah,
so I could do Christmas morning, Christmas night.
Day. Yeah.
That's right, isn't it? No, it's
my Boxing Day. Right. Yeah.
No, not your Boxing Day. Your Christmas night. So,
oh wow,
Christmas Eve, right? Then you get Christmas morning before me. That would be my Christmas Eve. But then your Christmas night at 2300 hours is only going to be like 9 o'clock in the morning for me.
Mm.
Is that right?
So you'll be still unwrapping your presents?
Yeah, one of them, an old caramel sweetie or something. Right. So Christmas special.
Yeah.
What I also got to look forward to is this. I'm trying, unlike you, Jason, I'm trying to get over to Northern Ireland, trying to get a visit to the Andante factory.
Oh.
Now, it's fell flat a wee bit. I was dealing with a woman called, I'm not going to mention her name because I don't think that's fair, but I was dealing with a lady that was sending me an email back and forth. She said, I'll deal with this, I'll send this up to somebody. So that was the sales department, I think. So obviously I'm not going to go and buy a full rack at Andante drums just because I want to walk around the factory. My point is that I would like to actually just walk around it and see what kind of scale, what kind of drums, what's their volume. I know that's it's pretty pipe band orientated. I mean,
yeah.
Ideally I would like to go to Tama or something like that, but that's not going to happen. So the point is ideally do that, and maybe ideally or hopefully get this Lambeg drum interview done about the guy that does Lambeg drums. And I'd like to see that getting made with the goat skin and all that. So I don't know what.
Just for a bit of intro here, the Lambeg drum. You were telling me briefly in a voice note. It's the oldest drum. One of the oldest drums.
It's one of the oldest drums in the world. It's one of the oldest.
Yeah.
One of the oldest. So I think it'd be interesting. Seemingly, allegedly, there is no staff notation for it.
Oh, so it's all just word of mouth.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, you're on a mission to find out.
I need to clarify that with somebody that knows more than me. But allegedly, there is no written music for it. Find that hard to believe, though. Surely,
which you don't know.
Because if it's a series of like all that, right? What I can imagine is a side drummer, right? And this is me. I imagine, not I know. So it's hitting the drum and then creating like almost what it sounds to my ears. Like doubles, singles, and triplets.
Yeah.
So surely you must be able to write that down in some format.
That makes me think, is there notation music for Balrone?
There is actually, yes, there is.
There is?
Balrone, aye.
Wow.
There's notation music for it, yeah.
Okay.
Factual.
So surely there is for Lambe. Andy on the beat will get to the bottom of this.
I will get to the bottom of this, and hopefully it will happen. So, quite a lot in this show.
Yep.
So I hope you've enjoyed it. It was all done pretty much on the hoof. Episode 4. Oh, just a shout out. There's a guy called Rab watches this show.
Nice. Thank you, Rab.
Right. So Rab watches the show, and Rab wants to send me. I see you drinking whiskey now and again, right? And he says to me, he was trying to write a comment. He says he was having problems writing in the comments box. So first and foremost, everybody that's watching this, please write in the comments, because then we can know what really annoys you, and then we can do it even more. Right?
We love that stuff.
Whatever annoys you, we're going to keep doing. Right. Another one is he said, this guy Rab was like to me. She said, "I want to write in the comment box that he's going to offer me a dram."
Yeah.
So if he's watching again this show, it's a bottle of Auchentoshan is my favourite.
Lovely.
So get that. So you can send me it, or you can leave it somewhere under a bin or a rock, and I'll find it. Get me the details, Rab.
He'll sniff it out.
He's an interesting character. That's all I'm going to say. I won't go in too much about him, but he's an interesting man. Right?
Well, good on you, Rab.
Yeah, good on you, man. Good on you. Good on you, peoples. Right, so that's it for episode 4. Jason, anything to add?
No. Thanks for listening, everyone. We're just rolling on this journey of rudimental right now.
Oh, come on now. This is a long journey. This is like a journey to Mars.
I know, unexplored territory.
This is going to keep going and going and going. In fact, it's going to go that long that what they'll do is we'll just do an app away us, right? They'll make sure that they take us as AI, right? And so I'll be like an old decrepit guy, and they'll just make me like I'm the now. Right, and then they'll do the same with you. That'll be it. AI forever. Forever. So if you don't write comments, I'm going to make that happen, and that'll be there forever. So
we're going to just do an AI pipe band show.
An AI pipe band, imagine that. Right. So, till next time, how can you get in touch with us, Jason? You're the man that knows these things.
You can email us at rudenmental.drumcast@gmail.com. Email questions, requests, criticisms, anything you like. rudenmental.drumcast@gmail.com.
Okay, superb. Right, so that's us. And remember, we want to be, the next one will hopefully be Christmas Day, and the next one after that should be the last weekend of the month. So Adam, head of production, Australasia Pacific Rim, you've been put to task. You know that day's coming. Last weekend of the month. Make it happen, Adam. And enjoy. Oh, by the way, I'll speak to you on a special day. I'm not going to say it. Don't say it, Jace. Don't say it. Right. See you next time. Take care, drumheads.
Players.